Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special episode of your favorite show, the Quotable Podcast.
It's boner time. I'm bonus. Damn it. I always do that.
We're 15 seconds in, damn it. No, in this episode, Morgan and I have kind of talked about this a little bit in the past, but we are going to start doing something along this line where, we talk about movies, we have trivia episodes and everything, but this week what we are going to do is say, hey, we're going to single out one certain actor. Sorry.
What was that?
No, sorry. Your air freshener needs to die. The batteries kind of... My mouth was open.
It smells so good, though. Do you want to start over?
So
No.
So what we're going to do is we're going to single out an actor, every couple months and just be like, hey, this is why we like this actor. These are some of the favorite movies that we've done or that we've seen of theirs, and this is why we love them. And this week we have chosen the very, very, very talented, very sensual, and very tall Will Ferrell.
So without further ado, this is a celebration of Will Ferrell. Longest intro ever. I wonder if people are wondering, when is that music gonna end?
Hopefully never. I like the new music.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's growing on me.
It grew on me.
I wouldn't let you in my room if you were growing on my ass. All right, so why don't you start us off? Like, what we both did is we wrote down 5 movies that stand out to us.
Right.
But I think before we get into that, tell me what it is that you like about Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell has evolved as an actor. I mean, it's a lot like an Adam Sandler type of person. He had a role in a certain movie, but, he started off in Saturday Night Live, but then had a role in a certain movie, and you're just kind of like, oh, so that's his shtick. Like, that's who he's going to be literally in every part. But then started to evolve into... Like, you can see the depth of Will Ferrell. A good majority of his movies are comedy, but he's actually been able to be serious when he needs to be.
Agreed. 100%.
So that is one of my, like, looking at Will Ferrell, I'm like, wow, sir, you have come a long way, and it is phenomenal.
All right. Good deal.
So... the first movie that I had for him was, it's a comedy, but The Other Guys. And The Other Guys, you see his evolution in the movie where he just plays basically an idiot the entire time. Like, he doesn't want to be a serious police officer. He just wants to be like, no, I like an accounting police officer. Like, that's my thing. And he wants to be that very, like, I've never pulled my gun on anyone. I don't ever want to pull my gun on anyone. I just want to come to work, do my job, and go home. But then you see kind of like his evolution as he has his partner, and then he's just like, little things where it's like, so I thought you were going to change. When he's talking to his wife, I thought you were going to change. She was like, I already did. He's like, and that's what you picked to wear? You look like a hobo. It's Eva Mendes. She could never look like a hobo.
No, never. Not even if there's a fire.
Not even if she went to the hobo store.
No.
And bought hobo clothes.
So, I too picked The Other Guys as one of my top 5s.
As everyone should.
So, my take, I don't feel like he was an idiot in this movie. I feel like he was a coward. He was so stuck in being the office guy that I guess the thought of being out in the field never really occurred to him. And I guess he just kind of feared stepping outside of his bubble. So
You got to get out of the comfort zone.
With Mark Wahlberg, as his partner, he was the complete opposite. And I guess the two of them kind of grew on one another.
Right.
And they kind of helped each other evolve in their roles,
Yeah.
But this was not a movie where Will was really playing a character, in my opinion. I feel like this was just him being himself. Similar to like some of the Adam Sandler movies that we've talked about already. I feel like this was a very normal role for him to be. There weren't any moments where I feel like he was being like super obnoxious. Although one scene does stand out where they go to, and because it's been a while since we've done that episode, I can't think of the guy's name. He was that executive, and he had the cucumber water.
Oh, yeah. I can't think of his real name either, but when they go...
Yeah, he's like, the cucumber accents the water in such a way. And to this day, the two of us have taken that scene, and we use it for everything.
Yes, we do.
And it's never cucumber water. It's always something else, like our intro music accents our podcast in such a way. But he does a great job in that movie, and it's because it was different than a lot of the other stuff that we had seen him do prior to that.
Yeah, okay. All right. I like your take on that. The next movie I had for him was Holmes and Watson, where once again he had teamed up with John C. Reilly, and he plays Sherlock Holmes. But he has an entirely different take on Sherlock Holmes. I've only seen the movie like twice, but
same, I think.
But it's a movie where it's worthy enough for me to point out because he did things and said things in the movie where I'm like it stuck with me because it's so outlandish and so it just makes it so funny. Where he's supposed to be like, the world's greatest detective, aside from Batman. But still. But there was one scene where, at the very beginning, and he was like, oh, well, I'll just walk into the courtroom and be like, but wait! And he's talking to Watson about it, who's played by John C. Reilly, and he's holding his finger up, and he was like, see, I think this gesture here is what really sets it off. And he's like, yes, but we need to go. And he's like, admire the finger. It's like, do you see how he's like, yes, it's pointed up and it's very, very convincing. He's like, but we have to go. And he's like, I know, but this is what really kind of sets it off. And then later on in the movie, Watson kind of breaks off on his own and everything. And Holmes has an epiphany or whatever. And then he's going to find Watson. And he was like, Watson, I've learned to master my emotions, and it only took me 34 years. So,
I think I've only seen the movie one time. That one did not make it on my list, although I do remember watching it and enjoying it. It's just I'm not as familiar with that specific one. But yeah, I mean, it was definitely an entertaining flick, and I feel like there were times where it was almost like a nod to the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes movie.
Oh, yeah, easily.
But yeah, it was definitely a different character, for him, playing like a British role.
Yeah, and not him, but John C. Reilly playing Watson. John C. Reilly actually had a better British accent than Will Ferrell did, so it's weird.
It's been a while, but
I do remember you pointing that out when we watched it because you and I had watched it together. And
that sounds like something I would do.
You were like, I can't believe it. You're like, John C. Reilly actually sounds British.
Yeah, that sounds like something I would say for sure. I will let you finish your list, and if there are any that I did not have that we aligned on, then I'll go through the others.
Okay.
So what was number 3 for you?
The number 3 is actually kind of like a two-parter because it's almost the same. It's kind of like the same part, really, in essence. But I don't think that it was just Will Ferrell that made these roles great.
I have a feeling I know what you're gonna say.
It was Daddy's Home 1 and 2. In the first one, Mark Wahlberg And actually, honestly, Linda Cardellini, like their characters in this movie made Will Ferrell great, because Will Ferrell, like in that movie, I'm like, oh no, he's a coward. He's a coward, as I suspected. He was a coward and a weakling.
And he wore way more cologne than a man rightfully should.
But and then in the second one, everybody else in the movie, Mark Wahlberg, John Lithgow, Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson did phenomenal in that scene, in that role, playing Mark Wahlberg's dad.
John Cena makes a repeat appearance. Yeah.
Yeah. Everything about that whole, I don't want to, it's not a franchise, obviously, but
that cast
it
of characters.
Been.
Yes. No, and honestly, that one was on my list. So touche.
But in the first one, Thomas Hayden Church, Will Ferrell's boss,
yes,
made that hysterical. But it's like they brought something to the table that Will Ferrell was actually able to act off of. I mean, the story that Thomas Hayden Church tells about his like fourth wife and her son, like the 20-year-old, and he was like, yeah, after like 2 years, I had to tell him like, hey, you got to get a job or get out. And he's like, I come home one day and bam, like they're having sex. And he's like, I didn't even see it coming. And then Will Ferrell's just like, yeah, I did about one sentence into this story. I saw what was going to happen. But then afterwards, he sits there and he's like, all right. And he's like, well, can we just carry on with this? I mean, they're in a meeting. Mm-hmm. And then you just see Will Ferrell and he's like, London, you still on the line? I mean, that is such a well-delivered line.
But I think it was the way that they filmed it. It looked like it was just him and Will Ferrell in the scene.
Yeah, that's what you're thinking the whole time.
Right. Yeah, no, that whole cast of characters worked so well together. I mean, obviously, Will and Mark had done, and they have such great chemistry together. Yeah. And I don't know how that even started, to be honest with you.
Neither do I.
But I'm glad that it did.
But then in the second one, I mean, they still had the same chemistry. They had whatever, but
they had more camaraderie in the second one because they had established the relationship as, okay, he's the stepfather of his, Will is the stepfather of Mark's kids.
Right.
And he's accepted the fact that they're kind of like two father figures in their lives.
Right.
And they both benefit from having each other. Yeah. And, so they've accepted it. They've grown. They have a solid friendship at this point. But then when the fathers come into play, it just kind of throws a wrench in the gears.
Yeah, and John Lithgow in the second one, I mean, his character is hysterical. Like when he shows up and he's just like, oh, son, and they kiss
each other on the mouth. Yeah,
and he's just sitting there and he's like, oh, it's been so long since I've seen you. And Mel Gibson's like, how long has it been? He was like, oh, since Thanksgiving. It's like, so it's been 3 weeks.
It feels like forever. But then he's like, all right, well, I'm not going to do that with my kid, so.
Yeah, but it's something that, I mean, like I said, you have to have other actors that sit there and you can look at and be like, okay, well, an actor is only good as the person that's standing across from him.
Right.
Like, I think that's why our dynamic works so well, is because of the fact that you and I have known each other for decades. So now it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I can feed off of you, you can feed off of me. A lot of times our like joint sayings that we have in episodes and stuff, that's not scripted.
No.
It's not planned, but you and I know each other so well that we know what we're going to do.
Even our periods are in sync.
I know.
It's crazy.
But so that is like John Lithgow. I mean, he made the movie hysterical. Will Ferrell made the movie hysterical. Mark Wahlberg made that movie hysterical. Mel Gibson was phenomenal in that movie.
And we haven't done Daddy's Home 2. Did we? Wait, shit.
We haven't done either of them.
We haven't done either of them. So I don't want to go into too much detail on the movie itself, but there is that one line that John Lithgow had that stands out to me. And that's when they all wake up in the middle of the night because that little girl, she keeps turning up the thermostat.
Yeah.
He's like, did you make TT? What the hell? Who calls it that?
But it's funny because it's the same scene that I'm thinking of, because Mel Gibson, like, he wakes up John Lithgow and he was like, "Do you touch the thermostat?" And he's like, "I would never touch another man's thermostat."
But it's like, and with all of the differences in the way that they, like, their personalities are totally opposite of the scale. But this is one place that they align. And it made it for such a great scene. Yep. It's like, no, you don't touch the thermostat.
Yeah, no, you never touch another man's thermostat, ever.
Yeah. But this is another one, in my opinion, where it's a similar character than what he plays in the other guys, where he's kind of the straight man in this one. I think a little more frail, I think.
Yeah.
In this one,
especially in the first one.
Yeah. Definitely in the first one for sure. But it was him being able to play a role, be funny while not being outlandish. He was believable as this character.
Yes, I could see him being that guy in real life.
Right.
Another one is also a two-parter. Anchorman.
Oh.
I mean, that's a stand-up. I mean, that's a stand-up thing. But you and I think that stood out to me more because of the fact that you and I quote Anchorman
like all
way
the
more
time.
Probably way more than we should.
Yes. Annoyingly so. Well, not annoying to us.
No, it's definitely not annoying to us. I mean, but probably annoying to the people around us where, I mean, I don't know how many times it's just been like, oh, well, maybe don't wear a bra next time.
I think both of us, more than anything else, we say, hi-yo.
Hey-yo.
There he is.
I'm very aroused. But we play out that whole scene.
Right.
But, I mean, and he's the same exact person in the second one. And, I mean, you hate him. You just do because you're like...
Because he's dumb.
He's a dick.
He is a dick, but he does not pick up on social cues.
No. I mean, but then again, at the same time, you look at it and you're like, well, it's supposed to take place in the 70s. Well, things were different way back in the 70s.
Yeah, and I mean, I respect, and this was on my list as well, he committed to this character.
He did.
And he played a very good narcissist, in a sense. Everything was about him. He had to make Anchor. He had to be the top guy in the newsroom. He had to be the one that everybody looks up to. And when things didn't go his way, he was like a child throwing a fit.
Well, I think what speaks really loud of that is just the scene when he throws the burrito out the window and him and Jack Black get into it and everything. And I don't know why he ended up running to. I mean, he could have just got back in his car and drove. Right. But that's neither here nor there. It made for great comedy. But when he shows up and he was like, I'm here. We can do the news now. Like everybody, it's like, why is everyone just standing around? Let's go. And then she was like, no, she was like, I read the news. She was like, I nailed it. I nailed it. But his line right after, he's like, you read my news? It's not your news. Yeah. It's not your news. I mean, it's the news.
He was very selfish.
Somebody had to deliver the news.
So yeah, as frustrating as his character could be at times, it's like you have to appreciate the lengths that he went into to commit.
Yes.
To Ron Burgundy.
Yeah. And then the last movie that I have with him would be, I guess, kind of the first time you ever really notice him or anything in a big time movie would be Zoolander.
Oh, wow. I thought this was going to be something different, but...
So is that on your list?
It's under my honorable mentions.
See, now to me, Zoolander, I think was just one of those ones where, I mean, everything about his character in that movie is, I don't want to say selfish or anything like that, but, he's a puppet in a bigger game. You find out about, the only people that could ever kill anybody in the world are male models or models in general, but his character in that, I mean, he made it so funny. I mean, it was just so outlandish. And even earlier, you and I, when we were driving to the restaurant, and you were just like, I mean, that whole foamy latte scene. It's hysterical.
Not now, Todd. Damn it, Todd. Don't you know I get all farty and bloated with a foamy latte?
But everything that he says in that, I mean, even after that, him and Todd are like, they do the weird stare down where it's like,
They created that awkward sexual tension.
Yeah, but
so
then,
well.
But then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he's like, "Yes, Derek." It's like, oh yeah, I forgot I had Derek in front of me.
Oh, this whole time.
Yeah, and then on his line when he was like, "I have a vision. Let me show you mine." You know, and he's like,
he does that
derelict.
But the way that he runs over to that table. I think that might have been a different scene where he's the Derek Zoolander Center for kids who can't read good.
And want to learn to do other stuff good, too. But when he's looking at it and he just throws it down, he's like, what is this? A center for ants? But then you see, he's like, it has to be at least 3 times bigger. So you see Mugatu's, Will Ferrell, and he's just like...
He looks over at Todd.
Like, oh my God. He's absolutely right. I don't know.
He's like,
what?
Like, what else do we do here?
Yeah, so you'd like to think that he's an idiot because he's in the fashion world, but he's really not, because at the end he was like, La Tigra, Ferrari, Blue Steel. It's like, it's all the same look. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
And I'll be a monkey's uncle if I'm going to...
Die, you wage-hacking scum!
Yeah, no, that was another great character for him. Totally different.
Because it's way different.
Oh, you can't match that, man.
No, you can't.
This definitely, I feel like this was similar to that one skit that we talked about that was in SNL, where he's like, how fast can you have your bags packed for Milan? Yeah. I'm almost wondering if that skit happened before Zoolander. But I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't know either.
I don't know the timing. But he's wearing a blonde wig, although the Mugatu's hair is totally different. He almost looks like a sheepdog or something. But no, I loved Mugatu. That character was fantastic for Will.
It was. Every character that I've ever seen Will Ferrell do, and I used to be an avid, I don't like Will Ferrell guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I was very anti-Will Ferrell.
That's crazy.
But like I said, I mean, he was able to take on different roles, and I mean, he's knocked them all out of the park. Yeah, he's done great.
Now, I know we've mentioned this in some of our other episodes, but Will Ferrell is one of the actors that I've heard other people say, I can't stand him. And in my experience, it's usually women that say they can't stand Will Ferrell. Most guys, I think that I've talked to, have had more of a positive opinion of him. Yeah. And I don't know why that is.
I don't know.
There's a couple other actors that are like that, and some of them may be in our upcoming episodes where we do a celebration. So I had a couple other movies that made it to my list that were not on yours.
All right.
First one is Step Brothers.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Step Brothers was one of our earlier episodes. This was when we were still finding our voice. I mean, we really didn't find our voice until the 46th episode. I think that's how podcasts work. But Step Brothers was just funny from beginning to end. And this was a different character for Will because he's like a 40-year-old dude playing somebody who just never grew up.
Right.
He had the maturity of like a 13-year-old or something. Same thing with John C. Reilly. But this is about Will. He was able to portray that character so well where he just, I can't get out of this phase. I'm stuck here. This is my comfort zone. I don't want to grow up. It's like Peter Pan in a way. And just the interaction between him and John C. Reilly in this movie were just so reticent of 2 teenage kids.
What are you doing? I'm burying you.
Yeah. And that was one movie that I could just watch over and over. When that came out and I got the DVD on that one, I was obsessed with it.
I haven't seen it since we did it.
No,
since we did the episode,
I don't think I have either. That
so
doesn't take.
That was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, that doesn't take anything away from it. It's still a great movie, and there's, the whole cast: was great in that movie. Damn it, Ben Wyatt. What the hell is Adam McKay?
Yeah, Adam McKay. Or no.
Adam Scott.
Adam Scott.
Adam Scott.
Yeah, Adam McKay directed it.
That's right. He played a great like asshole little brother.
Yeah.
Which is such an odd concept. You got Mary Steenburgen.
Yes, Mary Steenburgen.
That played Will Ferrell's mom, Brennan.
And then
Brennan's mom.
Yeah, and then Richard Jenkins, who played John C. Reilly's dad.
And he was funny because
used to walk around with arms in my shirt like a little dinosaur.
But Dad, you could never be a dinosaur. You're a human. But that was one of my favorites from Will. And then my fifth one, before we get into the honorable mentions, was Get Hard. And I don't know if have you ever seen that one?
I fell asleep during it.
Oh,
but
not because of the movie.
No, it's not because of the movie. There was a ton of alcohol involved in that, and I saw it finally like on demand or something, and I'm like, I am gonna watch this movie right now. And I woke up with just like a bowl of Cheetos on my stomach, and the movie had been off for quite a while. So I was like, oh well, okay then.
Yeah.
So I don't remember too much of it.
So this is another movie where he pretty much plays a straight man, not in the sexual sense,
right?
But straight-laced guy. He's a business executive. He's a whiz when it comes to like the stock market. He invests wisely, and he makes his company a shit ton of money, and he gets pinned for fraud. Basically,
yeah,
and he gets sentenced to prison, but before he goes to jail, he has to toughen up, get all of his affairs in order. And Kevin Hart, he owns a car wash, but he and his crew, they work like in the parking garage for this company. So all these business executives, they pay to get their car washed while they're at work. So it's great
it's a win-win
spot
for everyone.
Exactly. And for some reason, Will Ferrell's character, and I can't think of his name, something King, I think. He gets Kevin Hart's character to teach him how to toughen up for prison, so he doesn't become somebody's bitch. Basically, that's like the abridged version of it. But the charisma, the chemistry between Kevin Hart and Will Ferrell was so good in this movie.
Yeah.
Because you think that they're not going to get along at all, but they do. And the more they like get to work together, the more you can kind of see a bond developing. And even though it's a funny as hell, it's a really funny movie, but to see that relationship grow from two people that are like very different, but similar in the way that they can make fun of themselves,
Okay.
And I loved seeing that dynamic between those two. I know we've said the word dynamic like 10 million times, but fuck it.
Yes, fuck it. That's your answer for everything.
So that is my fifth movie.
All right. One of my honorable mentions is going to be Old School.
Okay.
Because, Old School. Everything about that movie is phenomenal.
Yeah.
There's nothing about that movie where you're just like, well, I didn't like that.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. But, a great movie.
He's Frank the Tank, baby.
Yeah, he is Frank the Tank. I have the T-shirt to prove it.
All right. What else did you have?
Another honorable mention. I've only seen the movie once, but I remember it being hysterical. But it was kind of along the lines of that a more repetitive role with Kicking and Screaming.
Oh God, yes,
yeah. Yes.
God, that was such a good one. The thing with the cappuccino.
Yeah.
He brings a cappuccino machine to the soccer field. I forgot about that one, and that was such a great movie.
Yeah.
Damn.
And then the last one that I have to mention, I can't think of Will Ferrell and not think of this movie as Elf.
Yes.
It's a happy movie. It's a very feel-good movie. It's a Christmas movie for the love of Pete. But I try not to curse a lot, especially around my kids. One of them I really don't give a shit about. He's an asshole. And then the older one, I try not to cuss in front of him because he's questionable. But, so it's like I do try to censor myself. So I know that people have heard in episodes, I'll be like, oh, dang darn. Or, the love of Pete or something like that. But, one thing that I really do say sometimes is, especially around Christmas, is son of a nutcracker. So those are my 3 honorable mentions.
So Elf was one of my honorable mentions, and the reason I didn't put it on my main list is because I didn't want to throw a holiday movie on the main list.
Yeah.
But Elf is one of my favorite holiday movies.
Yeah.
And I think it will be for many years to come.
Yes.
Another one, which this is kind of left field, but Stranger Than Fiction.
I enjoyed that movie. I thoroughly enjoyed that movie.
This was more of a not super dramatic role for Will, but it was definitely not a comedy. It was almost like a dark comedy in a way.
Yeah.
But he did a great job in this one.
He did.
To the point where you feel like empathetic.
No, watching the movie, I felt very sorry for him. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
This movie took a turn.
It really did. But I liked it. It was definitely different. And I like to see the fact, he can be versatile. He doesn't have to be goofy all the time. He can step out of his usual, I guess, what people expect from him.
Right.
And just tremendous amount of respect for him and, what he's able to bring to the table. And, the last one that I have is Talladega Nights. The Ballad of Ricky Bobby.
Yep. I was this close to putting it on my list.
Yeah.
But to me, it would have been like, of just kind of falling into a couple other movies that he did that I had on my list and had thought of, just being that stereotypical, like, narcissistic asshole.
Mm-hmm.
And hell, we were even talking about it last night. And one of the most quoted lines that you and I have from that movie is just like, dear 8-pound, 11-ounce baby Jesus laying there in your manger. And it's like, he had a beard.
He was a man. He had a beard.
Such a great movie.
He did play, not at first. Once he started winning, he became an asshole.
Yes.
He was very selfish, and he didn't want to let anybody be number one. He's like, well, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence.
Yeah.
And he kind of got what he deserved in that movie. John C. Reilly's character, ends up hooking up with his wife.
And getting married.
Yeah.
I do like just like the little things about that. Like after that big car accident and he's asleep in the hospital bed and he's just like...
He thinks that he can't walk. Like
his legs even when
broken.
He's waking up and he's just like... and his wife's like, unplug him. He's like, no, he's just asleep. And she's like, he has never made that noise.
But even with as nuts as he was and as chauvinistic as he was, he turned himself around. He turned a new leaf, so to speak,
that he did
in this movie, and he became likable.
Yes,
again.
He did.
So, but it was just another character of his that really stood out to me.
Yes, and for that, Will Ferrell, we thank you for everything that you've done and everything that you're continuing to do.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate the hours of entertainment that you've brought to the table. A lot of content for us to use for our podcast episodes. Not that you're ever going to hear any of it, but, we just want to share our appreciation for your talent.
Yes. And so that wraps it up for this episode. So, until next time, everyone, turn on your TV, sit down, watch a Will Ferrell movie.
Any of them.
Yeah. And we'll see you next time.
Quotable Podcast.
Out. Gator don't play no shit.
Gator ain't never been about playing no shit.